Well, hello there. Welcome back. I am glad you're here. Today we are in part 3 of the Springfield SA35. We're back. So, quick recap. In part 1 of the review of this pistol, I basically was just letting you guys know, look, I've had this thing for a good while. I've shot it a lot. I was over 1,000 rounds, and I was just really happy with it. I thought they're a really well done gun. I had some criticisms of them. I thought the trigger and obviously the springs that it showed up with were comically, offensively lightweight. So I replaced those, and that first 1,000 rounds, I did not have a single failure. I was super happy with the gun. I concealed carried it, and I trusted it. Then in part 2, my goal was to cross over the 1,500 round mark on camera. I wanted to capture a lot of shooting and just really verify that the extractor issues that plagued some of the early models on these guns was gone. A lot of those extractor issues happened around the 1,000 round mark, and they happened in serial number range like 11,000-ish. Well, my serial number range is in the 45,000s, and so I thought clearly they've got it solved by now. But I wanted to confirm that, not just for me, but for you guys. I thought that would be really helpful. And so in the middle of filming for part 2, the extractor sheared off. Like OFF off. It broke off. Gone. And I'm not going to lie, you guys, I was completely shocked. So much so, this is how it didn't even enter my mind as a possibility that the extractor broke. Because when it broke, I cleared the malfunction, and then I went back to shooting, and then it did it again the very next round. And then I cleared the malfunction, and then it did it again. And I'm going, well, this is weird. I went from 0 malfunctions to like all of them. And, I was putting the gun away because I'm like, maybe let me just walk away for a minute and like shoot something else. Maybe it's me, something weird's going on. And a buddy of mine who was there made a comment, it was a joke, something like, yeah, hopefully that didn't just break off. And I thought, well, God bless it, I should probably look. And sure enough, that joker broke off. So that ended part 2 pretty abruptly. And I was at about the maybe 1,100, 1,200 round mark. It's hard to say. All I know is I got a big sack of Winchester 115 grain ball. And it was 500 rounds, and as long as I can empty that bag out, then good, we did it. So at the end of part 2, I said, well, I guess I'm going to have to send this off to Springfield. And I actually went a different way. So when I got done with that video, I actually looked up the Springfield, contact info, and I was about to do it, and I just had this thought. I'm like, okay, hold on a minute. They've had 30,000 pistols to get this right. And my part still broke. So why do I think if I send it to them, it's going to be any different? Is it going to take 80,000 pistols before they get it right? I just went through that thought process that, like, does this company really care about this issue? Or are they just going to throw the same part in there, and in another 1,000 rounds, I'm going to have it break off? Do I want to trust my life to that? Right? So this is where my head is at. And so I thought, you know what? Instead of sending it off to Springfield, I'm going to fix it the right way. And I went with a cylinder and slide extractor. A lot of people recommended that after I already bought it. So if you go look at like part 2, you'll see a bunch of comments where I'm like, I already bought it. I already bought it. I already bought it. Like, I was trying to tell everybody, I got it, man. But I do appreciate the comments. So got the part. And by the way, the install was so easy. This whole thing about Springfield saying it's a custom fitted part. You must send it to us because of the hand fitting required. And there was even some people who commented that were like, that's a hand fitted part, sir. Guys, this took me 7.5 minutes to replace. If you mean hand fitted as in I used my hands to put it in the pistol, that was true. So I went to the range today, and I went with exactly 121 rounds. And yes, I counted them. So that's just happened to be what I grabbed. I loaded all 6 mags up, as you'll see in the video. And then I just grabbed a couple handfuls, threw them in a Ziploc bag, and was like, okay, let's see. If I can just get through that many mags, I'm going to call it good. So went to the range, and it was great. It was great. In fact, I will say the extraction and the ejection was, I don't know, man. I feel like it was so precise. I feel like I could have like taped a toilet paper roll to my truck and almost got every one of those pieces of brass to go through that toilet paper roll. Like, it was ejecting in one neat little spot, which I don't really care about, but I just thought, wow, that extractor's doing its job. That's really impressive. And so, man, I gotta say, she's back and better than ever. Now, I did have one failure to extract, which I'll show you on video there. I don't have an explanation for that. I'm going to assume that it was just a normal old malfunction. And granted, that was early on. That was probably in like the third mag in. Everything else after that ran great. Everything locked back. Just the whole gun functioned as you would expect it to. So it was 1 out of 121. I'm going to say it's okay, but I'm just, being honest with you guys, that did happen. So I'm really happy I went with the cylinder and slide extractor. I think it's a much better product than I would have gotten if Springfield would have just thrown another MIM garbage extractor in there. And I will say too, this is why I love cylinder and slide. I bought a lot of products from them over the years. I just think they are fantastic. But the product comes in a little Ziploc bag, and it comes with a card that it's a proof of testing. And it says that this product has been tested for hardness, and it shows that it's a 50 on the Rockwell hardness scale. And I just think that's fantastic. It's a quality forged machined part tested for hardness. They tell you what the hardness was. That just breeds confidence that this is a good part. Now, time will tell, because now there's going to be a part 4 in probably some months, where I'm going to cross over the 2,000 round mark. I want to really put rounds through this gun and see, is this one going to break? Because now I'm freaked out that this extractor or this gun just eats extractors. Now, I don't think that's the case. I'm being a little facetious, because I really do think the cylinder and slide is a good product. But you guys know what this feels like. Our confidence in our pistols, it has to be there. It's got to be solid. And mine has been shaken in this gun a good bit. So would I carry it today? Yeah, I would. Because it ran every 120 of those rounds. I had one failure, as I said. But it ran everything else really, really nicely. And the gun operated admirably. So do I trust it today? Yeah, I do. Long term is really where my questions are at. When I put another 1,000 rounds through it, how's it going to do? I don't know. Time will tell. But as of today, I just wanted to share that with you guys, that it went really well. So definitely stay tuned. I'm going to keep shooting this thing. Every time I go to the range, my goal is to bring this along and just put another, 5 mags through it every time I go, and just slowly, work my way towards, testing if this thing's going to keep working. But as of now, I'm really, really happy with it. So I think all of us would agree that a tight barrel lockup on any handgun is probably a good thing. And the barrel hood back here, it's a little hard to do. There's not very much room to test that, but it feels like a pretty solid lockup on the back of the pistol. But on the front, there's no bushing. And what you notice is there's more play than I would like, up, down, left, and right, with this barrel. So, I don't really like that, especially the more I'm shooting it. Do I think it's going to affect reliability? No. But, I like a gun that has a tighter lockup than that. So just, pointing that out, that's kind of how it's wearing in. Other than that, the action is still real smooth. Slide to frame fits is pretty solid. It makes no noise when you move it around. Thumb safety is okay. It's all right. I think it needs a better detent spring in there, which I'm probably going to do. But overall, guys, look, if I was going to buy this pistol today, and I still would, let me say that, would I buy this pistol today knowing the issues with the extractor? I would. But here's what I would do the same day I bought it, is I would order a cylinder and slide extractor and install it before I even shot it right away. Do you really want to just hope that the day you need this to defend yourself, that's not the day the extractor is going to break? I don't want to take that chance. And I know for some of you, You're going to say, I wouldn't carry that pistol at all. Totally respect it. And I understand. But if it were me, I would still buy the pistol. I would replace all the springs as I did, and I would put in a good extractor. And other than that, everything else on the pistol is holding up really, really well. So there you go, guys. That is the video. That's part 3. I like happy endings, man. It's really nice when things work out, but as I said earlier, I do plan on bringing this thing over the 2,000 round mark. We're going to keep going. I've got a lot of 9mm, and so I plan on really running this thing through, and let's make sure it works. All right, I appreciate you guys watching, as always. And listen, if you're not a part of the Patreon, we're up to like 50 people now. It's growing quite a lot, and it is such a wonderful community of guys. The community that's been cultivated there is one of being helpful, humble, and knowledgeable. And I just love it because there's so much wisdom in that group. We all help each other. I'm not the expert in the room. I feel like there's guys in there that know way more than me. And so if, you know, we had a guy join recently who's very new to guns, and that's great. He joined the best group you could because you got a bunch of guys in there who are real humble and who are going to help you work through any issues, answer your questions. And so if you want to be a part of that community, man, if that sounds good to you, go join the Patreon. It's $5 a month. It helps support the channel directly. And then on top of that, we are building a library of instructional videos showing some of the technical work on, specifically on 1911s right now. But in the future, stay tuned. If you guys are part of the Patreon, I'm building a team of people to help me expand that library and really have a good library of data for you guys to really show you in front of you simply how to work on these things and get them running. So if that sounds good to you, there you go. Patreon, go check us out. Other than that, guys, really appreciate you watching. Go follow me on Instagram and X. Links are in the bio. Until next time, we'll see you.